In this video, I'm going to show you on how you can add a drop shadow to an object in Canva. So a drop shadow effect is definitely going to be helpful to make the content or to make the object appears more striking, and it will definitely attract the viewer's attention. And I'm going to demonstrate on how you can add a drop shadow for both text and also a picture or a video. So let's start with a simple text. By the way, this is actually a text from my previous tutorial, and I apply a drop shadow effect to make it more attractive. So if I apply that like this, you can see that now there is a die cut border surrounding it. Now we can see the text, we can see the whole design thanks to the drop shadow effect. So here's how you can add something like that to text in Canva. I'm going to add a new page, and let's go to text. Let's add this text. This is going to be the name of the channel. Now to add the shadow, you have to click on the text. You can also select multiple text boxes, and then you can go to effects, and now you can click on shadow. So this is the drop shadow setting that you can apply. Now there is an offset. Offset is really about the distance between the shadow and the actual text. And then there is also the direction. This is essentially like where the light is coming from, and therefore you can see the shadow is being produced in the opposite angle. And then there is also blurry effect, which is very useful if you want to make the shadow more realistic. Then I do recommend enabling this option. And lastly, there is a transparency. This is just really about your style, or how intense the light really is. You can make it more transparent, you can make the shadow very visible. It's totally up to you depending on the style that you are trying to achieve. Now this is for the shadow option. There is also something kind of similar, and I use it a lot. It's called lift. This is not really a drop shadow, but it's just adding shadow on each individual letter of the text, and it just apply universally to every single text, and it's going to make the whole text more pop out. And sometimes it's actually something that you want to have in your design. Let's say if I change the color of the text to white, now we can see that shadow is helping the text to be visible. So that was the drop shadow for text. Now let's move on to the drop shadow for picture or other objects. Let's say I want to use a picture of person standing. Now let's see the photos, and I will try to find pictures that will be appropriate. I guess I'm going to try to use this picture, or maybe not. Okay, let's try something else. And I need someone that is standing with full body. Okay, let's see. Well, it's kind of difficult. I'm going to go back to the top. Maybe we can use this basic picture. Let's try that. So if you want to apply a drop shadow to this whole picture, you can click on it and then click edit, navigate to shadows, and here you can see there are multiple shadows effect that you can apply. I'm going to select this drop shadow, and now we can see the setting that's kind of similar to the text effect setting that we saw earlier, except maybe the wording is a bit different. This one is blur amount. It's there's also the angle, the distance, and lastly the intensity. By the way, you can also adjust the color, so it's no longer shadow, it's becoming glow, not shadow. And yeah, I think in this case this picture is transparent, but if you do have, let's say, a picture that is square, like maybe this one, you'll see that if you apply the shadow effect, that shadow will be applied not on this subject, it will be applied for the whole thing, for the whole picture. So if you click on it now, you can see that that is the drop shadow that it will get. But if you want to add a shadow just to the person inside of the picture, then you have to isolate the person from the rest of the background. You can do so by removing the background, or you can also go to the magic grab. This is also something that I use a lot. So the AI in Canva will isolate the object, and you can grab the object and then you can modify it. You can add shadow and it won't affect the rest of the picture. So it's extremely useful if you want to add some realism to the picture. Now that these two pictures are separated, you can apply the shadow effect individually, and I think it looks really cool. So yeah, I think that's basically it. That's how you can add a drop shadow in Canva.